Greetings and welcome to the Data Armory. There has been a demand in programming jobs, and the question is that can people without degrees, or to be more specific, computer science degrees, find their way into the industry and supply this demand, and more so in the data science field? And this topic is important since there have been quite a number of self-taught programmers who wish to get jobs without CS degrees. This video, therefore, is for those self-taught programmers who are pursuing data analysis, data science, or any other coding-related roles and seek an answer to the question of whether Google or any other company can hire them without a degree or a CS degree. So what we are going to look at is, do I need a computer science degree to be a Google software engineer or data scientist? And in this video, we are going to look at how does Google hire, what is equivalent practical experience, are degrees important, and what is the best decision in the long run, and what is the best decision in the long run. So on the question of do I need a computer science degree to be a Google software engineer or to be a data scientist, that is the question. And to start us off, we know very well that do developers need college degrees is a question that will always be there, will be asked, and there are very different views or perspectives when it comes to the best answer to this question. And according to Stack Overflow blog, this is by Alisa Mazina, who is a marketing firm. It says that just a generation ago, it was given that a college degree was the best way to maximize the likelihood of securing a high-paying job in the field of your choice. But the world has changed, and more you hear of successful developers who never earned a degree or college dropouts who made it big in Silicon Valley. So already there is a view here that there are more successful developers who never earned a degree or college dropouts who made it big in Silicon Valley, and we know that they are there. So it is possible for anyone who is asking, is it possible to make it big without a successful college degree? Already we are seeing case studies of situations whereby there are very many people outside there who have made it. So think pieces are published every day pondering the value of college, the skyrocketing rate of student loan debt, and whether or not the entire institution is just outdated or archaic. At the same time, kids as young as elementary school are learning to code, building apps and websites, and as they grow up looking to development as a career, they are often self-taught. Remember, this was geared towards self-taught. They are often self-taught, using Google and Stack Overflow, of course, to find answers and resources, then teaching themselves what they need to know. So it's natural that as the generation comes of age, they are wondering, do I even need a college to be a developer or a data scientist? Do I even need a college to be a developer or a data scientist? And let us look at some of the views outside here that have helped make this question more relevant to the situation that we see here. According to the Business Insider, this is March 7, 2019, Apple CEO Tim Cook explains why you don't need a college degree to be successful. Now, here we find that while a four-year college degree has become a common requirement for many jobs in the United States, even positions that did not previously require one, Apple CEO Tim Cook is taking a different stance. And it's because of these different stances that people are taking that this question is becoming even more relevant. Now, according to Cook, there are certain in-demand skills that students may not learn in college, namely coding. So we see that such thoughts or such views are what are fastening this question to become even more relevant, and people are seeking for an answer of what they need to do. So because we are using Google as a case study, now let us look, how does Google hire? And if we can know how does Google hire, then for sure we'll be able to have a clue, or we'll be able to have an answer of, is it possible to have to get a data science role in Google or any other company, equivalent company, without a data science degree. So how does Google hire? That is the question. So let us ask them, because the best person to ask them is Google. It themselves. So if you go to Google Careers, now under Google Careers, just let us to fast track it, let us just search for the word degree. Now here is a question: do I need a computer science degree to be a Google software engineer? And we know that because software engineering is coding related, data science is also coding related. So in as much as this talks about software engineer, it can also apply to any other coding related careers like data science. So it cuts across to programming roles. So do I need a computer science degree to be a Google software engineer? The answer is a no. A CS degree isn't required for most of our software engineering or product manager roles. So already they're giving you an answer that no, a CS degree isn't required for most of our software engineer or product manager roles. So for anyone who was asking, do I need a degree? Must I have a degree? Not do I need, must I have a degree? Or are these jobs only cut for those people who have degrees? Already they are telling you, no, a CS degree isn't required for most of our software engineering or product management roles. So when it comes to how does Google hire, we see that they also give a chance to those people who don't have a degree. It is not a must for you to have a degree to land a role in Google. So already we are seeing the shape that it's already taking. We are seeing the shape that is already taking, and we are seeing what thought leaders outside there are saying about these roles. Again, now if we go to Google Careers, let us find out, because we were trying to narrow down on data science. If you go to Google Careers, then we filter and look for data science careers, and the requirements or the qualifications for Google data science careers. For example, here the career is senior staff data science manager, infrastructure resource efficiency. What do they need for this role? Qualification, we see that they need a master's degree in quantitative discipline, e.g. statistics or economics, or equivalent practical experience. Now I want us to focus on equivalent practical experience. So here they have said they need a master's degree, which means that is also important, but also they have an alternative for someone who has an equivalent practical experience, 8 years of experience, and so much that they continue to list out here. Now, data analytics specialist. Again, let us look at another one. Look at about 3, then you can go and find it for yourself. This is careers.google.com. Data analytics sales specialist. Qualifications, bachelor's degree or equivalent practical experience. I want us to focus on equivalent practical experience in the context of this video. Bachelor's degree or equivalent practical experience. Then another one, data scientist, business and marketing. What do they need? Master's degree in a quantitative discipline such as statistics, engineering, sciences, or equivalent practical experience. Let us just expand this. Let us expand this. So there are minimum qualifications, then there are preferred qualifications. And if you look at the preferred qualifications, they continue to list out what they need. Now let us go to there's something I'm looking for in the preferred qualifications. Let's go to this. Let us expand this first one. What do they need? Preferred qualifications. No, in some of the job listings, if you look at the minimum qualifications, you will see equivalent practical experience. And if you look at the preferred qualifications, you also see they have listed down. They have also added this equivalent practical experience. So minimum qualifications, master's degree or a bachelor's degree, and equivalent practical experience. If you go to the preferred qualifications, in some of the roles, they'll also have listed down that equivalent practical experience. But at least if you have a minimum qualification as someone who has equivalent practical experience, already we see that you have got a footing into getting this role. But now let us ask ourselves, what do they mean when they say that they need an equivalent practical experience? What does an equivalent practical experience mean, and how does it fit into the context of this question that we are trying to answer? What does it mean? So let us find out what equivalent practical experience means. So if we go to this site and find out, now let us zoom out to, this is from East Tennessee State University, East Tennessee, I believe that is the right pronunciation, East Tennessee State University. You can find it at etsu.edu. Now let us zoom in again so that we can be able to see. Now, what does equivalent practical experience mean? Equivalences for education and experiences. Now here it says that, did you know that considering equivalent experience is an option available for hiring units when filling positions? So we are saying that already if you have an equivalent practical experience, it's already an option for hiring units when they are filling positions. Now, hiring units can substitute the educational requirement with years of related work experience if defined in the job posting. Now, for example, we have looked at Google. We have seen that they have defined this in their job postings. Now, if considering using this option, a statement must be stated in the required qualification sections for the job posting. Now, do we have this in the required qualifications for the job postings? Yes. So for someone who is asking, can I get a role in Google with an equivalent experience? Is it an option? Already we say yes, it's an option because they have listed it. They have defined it in the job posting. Now, if considering using this option, a statement must be stated in the required qualification section of the job posting with a similar phrase such as, will consider an equivalent combination or relevant education and experience. Without a statement such as this one, candidates cannot be evaluated using an equivalency. But for Google, candidates can be evaluated using an equivalency. Now, if you continue, now why to consider using the equivalent experience option? You can go and read. It says that you want to find the best candidates and diversify your candidate pool. Accepting equivalent experience is a very easy way to do that. Many available job seekers grew within their profession but may not have been afforded the opportunity to pursue a formal education. So when we talk about an equivalent practical experience, it is an opening for those who may have not been afforded the opportunity to pursue a formal education for whatever reason. When you strictly require a degree, you are depriving yourselves of these vastly experienced candidates. So already we see that we have got vastly experienced candidates who do not have a formal what? Education. And if you are someone who is vastly experienced or who is seeking to gain this experience without a formal education, do you have a chance to get a job in these companies like Google? So already we have seen, because they have already defined that they allow experience, equivalent practical experience as an option in their when they are hiring or when they are filling positions. Then you see already you have an entry. If you don't have a degree but you have the experience or you have the skill, already you can get a job with them. Again, let us find out what is a bachelor degree or what is a bachelor's degree or equivalent experience. Let us look from one of the famous sites whereby jobs are job posting sites. One of the most famous job posting sites. This is Indeed. In their career guide, remember the question we are answering is, what is an equivalent practical experience? Now, what is a bachelor's degree or equivalent? Now, Indeed says that many job occupations and higher education institutions require a certain level of education for acceptance as a job candidate or admission to their programs. Sometimes educational requirements are accompanied by the words or equivalent, like we have seen in Google job openings, that the jobs or the requirements for the jobs, for the job postings are accompanied by the words or equivalent. This means you may replace part or sometimes all of the education requirements with the knowledge you possess from work or other experiences in that field or a related field. Now it continues and continues to discuss all this. So you can go and read this at indeed.com. But what we were finding out here is this, that this means you may replace part or sometimes all. So when Google defines in the job listings that they need equivalent practical experience for the data science roles, it means that they may replace part or sometimes all, as we have seen, or sometimes all of the educational requirements with the knowledge that people possess from work or other experiences in that field or in a related what? Field. So we have already seen what they mean when they say what is equivalent practical experience. At least we know what they mean when they say equivalent practical experience, and by that alone we see that you can get an opening when it comes to these roles at Google. Now the question is, are degrees important? Are degrees important? Because you have seen they require an equivalent practical experience, and someone who does not have a formal education has got a chance to get a developer's job or a data science role in these companies. But now again it leaves the question, now are degrees important, or does that make degrees less important? But to answer that, let us just go back to Google themselves and look at what they list. Now we see here that they say master's degree in a quantitative discipline. So already a degree is needed, or an equivalent practical experience, which means that if you have a degree and you have an equivalent practical experience, then it even broadens your chances. Now preferred qualifications, PhD in quantitative discipline. So already we see they still need degrees. When they say that they need an equivalent practical experience, it does not mean that they have completely thrown out those who have degrees. So when someone is asking, are degrees important? We'll say yes, they are important. But must you have a degree for you to get an entry into these jobs? Already we have seen that no. If you have an equivalent practical experience and you don't have a degree, but your experience matches the skill that is required, then you can have a job in this place. Now remember, we were asking, is a degree important? And if you go to US Bureau of Labor Statistics and Career Outlook, when they talk about does education pay? Now, what are the statistics outside there? Because if you're in the data science field, you know the importance of data analysis and the importance of statistics when it comes to answering some of these problem statements. Now it says that even in the best economic times, data shows that workers who have higher education typically earn more and have lower rates of unemployment compared with workers who have less education. So someone who only has equivalent practical experience can fall into this category of someone who has got less education or who has no education. And when you look at the market, statistics show, this is as at June 2021, they were looking at the 2020 statistics, that even in the best economies, in the best of economic times, data shows that workers who have higher levels of education typically earn more and have lower rates of unemployment compared with workers. So if this data is anything to go by, then if you're answering the question, is a degree important? Yes, it is important, but is it all? No, it is not all. So if I have a chance to get a degree, then the better, because even in the best economic times, data shows that those who have higher education typically earn more and have lower rates of unemployment compared to those who don't have higher education or who don't have degrees at all. So earnings and employment rates by educational attainment. Now look, those who have doctoral degrees, look at the earnings. They top the list. Then professional degrees, median usual weekly earnings, that is 1893, then followed by master's degrees, followed by bachelor's degrees, associate degrees, then some college or no degree. So to the question that you are seeking to answer, do I have a chance if I don't have a college degree? Just by the fact that having no college degree or no degree has been listed among the earnings here, it means that even if you don't have a degree, already you have an entry point, because there are very many people also who don't have degrees and they have got these jobs, and that's why they appear in this data. But is a college degree important? Yes, it's important, because we can see in the earnings that it has been found that those who have higher levels of education typically earn more and have lower rates of unemployment. So that does not mean that a college degree is not important. Now, having answered that, now what do we do? What is the conclusion of this matter? Now, for someone who has a skill and needs an entry into companies like Google, remember we said that we are only using Google as a case study. Now, the best thing will be to look at the job posting requirements in your location. You'll find that there are some areas, there are some continents whereby in the jobs that they give, they don't give a priority to equivalent practical experience. So in your area, because you'll find that this answer applies to different people in different areas, and it applies to them in different ways. So the best thing will be to look at the job posting requirements in your location. What are the job posting requirements? Do they need degrees only, or do they need diplomas only, or do they need certifications, or they give that chance for equivalent practical experience? So it's important to look at how does it apply to your situation. Now, remember also that a portfolio is very important even if the degree is required, because some will think that because I have a degree, then I have an entry. No, we see that portfolio projects are very important when it comes to software development roles and data science roles or careers, that a portfolio is still very important. So always make sure that even if you don't have a degree, you are always building your portfolio, because it's very important even if you have a degree. And if you have a degree, that is not all. Come back and build a portfolio. Now, take coding as supplementary education rather than a replacement for a college degree. We have seen very many people who are walking out of their college degrees saying that, you see, the market has been disrupted. We don't need college degrees. We only need this skill, and after all, we have it. And they had that chance, they had that opportunity to pursue a college degree, and they leave it. Please, it will be important if you take coding as supplementary education rather than a replacement for a college degree. In the end, it depends on what you can do, whether you have a college degree or you don't have a college degree. In the end, the conclusion of the whole matter is that it depends on what you can do, because it will not be easy for a company to hire someone who has a degree but cannot do anything, cannot show the skills. Such a company will find it easy to go for someone who does not have a degree but can do something, but can show that they know the skills. So in the end, it depends on what you can do. And we can see that the market is being disrupted. We have seen case studies of hiring managers saying that, like for example, we looked at, according to Cook, there are certain in-demand skills that students may not learn in college, namely coding. Yeah, though we are seeing that the market is opening up, there are more coding courses. But now, the conclusion of the whole matter is that in the end, it depends on what you can do. Tell us what you think down in the comment sections.